Good morning, sunny morning, and welcome back to Two Small Plots channel. Just a quick update. It's been a lot going on. It's been a very busy time, so haven't even been down here the whole weekend. It's Monday morning, the 10th of July, and we're going to have a little plot tour and just have a little look around the greenhouse, see how things are doing. I've got a few things to quickly plant, so hopefully I'll put that in, as well as doing a little bit of filming today. Now I've bought my Romanesco collie, and there's a winter cabbage. Now I can't exactly remember what the name of that cabbage is, but it is a kind of Savoy type. Oh, here we are. There we are. Look, Ormskirk. I knew it was in there somewhere. Yeah, Ormskirk cabbage and Romanesco collie, which I've never grown before, so I'm going to try it out. I've got a bit of damage on some of these leaves because we had some whitefly or grey fly underneath there, and they just started zapping all the energy out of the leaves, so I quickly pushed them off, and I'm hoping that the plants are going to recover, but they won't recover until I get them into the ground because they are well ready to go in. But we'll start by having a look in the greenhouse, which you will see has just got almost beyond my control, because I have taken things out and taken them home to my other greenhouse to make space in here, and I've taken some things out and tried them in the ground to make space for some things in here. So I've been trying to spread things out, but it's still becoming like a bit of a jungle in there. Right, so the chilies are doing great, and although these ones are super tall, and I did try some in some larger pots just to see how big they would get, and that's like part of the challenge really, but I think it does slow them down as far as making fruits, which, you know, most people is obvious in a way, isn't it? Sometimes when they're more compact in a pot, they do tend to come to flower and fruit a bit earlier. The aubergines are doing well. This one is super tall. Let me just here, yeah, so this is from the floor. Yeah, it's like humid. It's like walking into the rainforest in here, even though I've never closed the windows, and I haven't closed the windows or the door since April, May time, apart from when there was a really windy day, and it does blow through here. We've got lots of peppers forming. Only one type of pepper, and I can't even remember what it is, but I will do. Dolce de España, there you go, Dolce de España, and they're sort of forming in different shapes, and some of them are longer than others, but they are all just one type. We've got a tiny red chili there, and these are a habanero type. Believe it or not, that compact one there is the same as this really tall one here, but like I said, it's got a smaller area to grow in. Tomatoes are up to the roof, and they haven't I said they haven't ripened one yet, but oh look, we've got a couple of little cherries and these are all Aperol, which I really liked last year because they have a long truss of lovely tomatoes that just keep coming really, and keep ripening, you know, 2, 3, 4 on every truss, like every day. And so what else have we got in here? So yeah, we've got plenty of let me just show you underneath this leaf here, Scotch bonnet. We've got 2 types of Scotch bonnet. Now I don't know what they are exactly, but one is like a squat one, and that's it, grows upside down like that, and one is more of a round, you know, a round one with a longer bottom. So, but the squat ones are slightly hotter, but just look, I mean, it's covered. That's one bush, and I've got too many really, but we do a lot with our chilies. I say we, that's the royal we, like making, I'm going to try some fermented sauce, sriracha, this year, so I haven't done that before. Aubergines coming on. Oh yeah, I should pick this. Look, that's ready to go, and that's me not even being here for 2 days. So yeah, first aubergine ready, and this is the purple long, so we've got another one coming, lots coming. not as big and bouncy, but still has made a lot of flowers, and we do have a couple of fruits kind of coming. So this actually is the purple long, and the leaves have got quite big. It's in a big pot, grown in homegrown compost. This is the similar chili. Don't know why some of the leaves are yellowing, but that may be colder overnight temperatures that we've just had, a bit of sort of dewy temperatures. So just take any of that dead stuff off, stop any diseases spreading. Overall the plant is looking really healthy. Tomatoes out here, yeah, going up to the top of the greenhouse really, and we have got some little ripeners there, and most of these are either apero or yeah, we've got some other longer cherry ones. Yeah, cherry cerise, that's it. And these are the yellow plum ones, but they pear drop. Yeah, indigo pear drop. And you can see, you wouldn't believe that they would be bright yellow at the end of the season, but they do go from this purple to green. No, green, purple, then yellow, as they gradually ripen. But there's always lots of those as well. But the plants are quite small this year. I think it's because I put them out a bit early and had a bit of a slow start. Onion, because don't tread on it, don't move the soil, don't compost any of the waste. But there were 2 little clumps that had white rot, and I'm not sure whether it was just rot from being overwatered, because these onions have been watered like everything else in the garden, just because it's been on a hose and stuff like that. I mean, these red clump, they are firm as firm. They're not going to seed. They look super healthy. So I'm sort of reluctant to take them out, but I also don't want them to just rot in the ground because I've missed the window of opportunity. And we have got a mixture of, you know, red and white ones. As you come up this way, I guess it's in slightly shade of the others, or the ground is just a bit poorer, they get smaller. So I may just take some of these as a kind of smaller type of shallot. We've got some beetroots, and they've been okay. They've been doing really well. I haven't grown that many this year, but definitely grown enough, because multi-sown, just keep taking the ones out that I want. Fruit's been doing great. It's been like a fruit making factory, a jam making factory at home, fruit processing unit, because all of these tapeberries have just been, you know, fantastic. There's more to pick there now. They're slowing down a bit. The freezer's filling up. The first tomatoes on the outdoor bush, and this is of course the Crimson Crush, my one and only Crimson Crush that I just tried. Bought one plant for £1.65 and thought, well, yeah, in for a penny, in for a pound, let's have a go and see how they do compared to the cherries and that I've grown. But the bush itself didn't grow too tall, not yet anyway, so it may just keep going. Rhubarb is becoming more of a bush. I know it's sort of over, we're not picking it. The kale, I don't know if you can see this because bright sunshine this morning, but yeah, I've planted some kale. It is weirdly, you know, this, I guess that must be other damage like slug damage, because that is underneath this fine mesh that is meant to protect against the flea beetle, and you can see it's got like lots of little holes in there. But we have had trillions of wood lice, you know, they've been burrowing, and I really wasn't aware of the damage that the wood lice could do, and they do. We've got some red cabbages up this end and some kales through that end, so various types of things. Let's have a quick look at the fruit. Apples now, these trees always begin looking fantastic, and then we have this spot arrive which doesn't go right through to the fruit, it's just on the surface. So I'm not sure what it is, and I'm not sure how to cure it. You know, I did put a message out there, so if anyone knows who's in the know about fruit and stuff and gets to this point in the video, please leave a message for me, because I'd be delighted to know that there's something I can do early in the season just to stop that kind of happening. But the trees themselves, now that I've really thinned them out and fed them and just created a bit of an espalier, are doing really good. There's just a bit of a disease problem. We've got a little bit of leek here, little row of leeks. These were like a spillover, and I'm going to have to I'm going to take this chard out today. It's going to seed. The rest of this row is going to be where my Romanesco are going to go, so I will just have a nice double row of, I've started to plant 4 already, and they will be in there. Yeah, lots of courgettes. I'm sure everyone's bored of seeing courgettes already, but yeah, lots of courgettes coming, and that's not the only bush. So we've had a bit of this rust thing going on now that it's been dry for a period of time, I guess, and but I need to get my dad to help out with thinning out some of the leaves on those. Some of these beds didn't do very well. They're fine for lettuce, but they definitely didn't work for the peppers. I just put some extra chilies and peppers in there, but didn't work. We planted up this bed just with probably the last sowings of summer lettuce that I will do this year, and luckily I've got a few spares because we've had a few casualties because I didn't put the bear traps out, and well, the slugs just walk in and take what they want. This has been really great, this endive. So if you like a slightly bitter lettuce and you want lots of it, just grow half a dozen endive plants, because they are a lovely, very robust bush style, and they grow anywhere in the shade. This is pretty much. There's a butternut squash there. That was a bit of an afterthought after I did plant one here already, and it got blown by the wind where I didn't tie it in, and it broke off, and so I had to replace that one. We've got some other outdoor tomatoes here, so you can see this one's a bit more of a protected bed. The peppers in here, as opposed to just down in there, just with a little bit of protection around the outside in the form of a deep raised bed. This used to be a cold frame. Have really gone on to produce some nice fruits, and are looking super healthy as plants at the moment. So, and we've got a chilli here, and the chilli's making chilies. So let's have a quick look if we can. There, plenty of chilies on there. So this one I just thought I'd keep it in the pot and just sink it into the ground. It's a pot with some big holes. It hasn't got a hole in the bottom, but it's still getting some extra water and nutrition by just putting it in the ground there. And these are some overspills from the greenhouse. Got a mixture of cherries and some larger tomatoes. I see a few just slightly turning orange now, but they're making lots of fruit. Over here, plenty of courgettes that need picking. More courgettes, Black Beauty. This one was a yellow one that was slow to get going. This is a squash. This is Turk's Turban, this squash. And it's just in a bit of pipe above the ground, and nothing on the bottom, and just going to let it trail over, which it's starting to do now. And the rest of them are just inside tyres, but I line the tyre with a plastic bag, one of the old compost sacks, so that if there's any impurities they won't swap onto the plant. And I think there's been something about that, and I'm not entirely sure of the science behind that. We've got some larger tomatoes here. They've been a bit of a weird kind of curly thing going on, and but they're still making fruit, so I just don't have time to be too fussy with them, but I have been tying them in as we've been going. Coriander going to seed, but there's been tons of that, a freezer full of coriander. So I haven't even bothered to pick this one yet because I've just got nowhere to put it. I've just been picking it as I needed to eat it, but it's a bit of a shame because I've got some I grew another bunch of seeds as well. These cabbages went in a bit late. They were the spring cabbages. I guess still okay for greens, but they're starting to kind of blow open a little bit now. Didn't really make a heart, and now they're crowding out what is another squat Scotch bonnet. On the way there, just a quick look at the potatoes, because these are the ones that are in the sacks. I've had one, I tipped one out and it made about 2 kilos. There's 3 small potatoes in there. These are first earlies, and they're all starting to look like, you know, they really need to be sort of tipped out. They're ready to go. Hanging baskets and of the tomatoes, tumbling toms, been doing really well. No ripe ones yet, but they are coming. They've suffered a bit in the heat to keep them going. Yellow courgette, if you know, these, if you've grown these, and well, my experience is that they start really slow and then suddenly, poof, you know, they really benefit from having some of the leaves taken off, just to help the plant. These early raspberries are now over. We have had a lot of fruit off of those, even though they look sort of short and quite spindly. They've been, you know, really sweet, lovely raspberries, and you know, quite a good size really. But the ones in here are a bit bigger. Another row of Taberry, and as you can see, we've got like another lot of picking to do, and hopefully my mum will come here today, because I'm really not going to have time to do this and plant my cabbages and my cauliflowers. But these are the taller, right up to the top of the cage, much taller variety. These were already here, so I'm not sure what they are, but they are a nice variety of raspberry and have been totally prolific. If you can see, there is pounds and pounds on here to pick, and it was just 2 days ago since we picked and made fruit and jam and froze, like, you know, 3 kilos of them just the other day. So yes, some different varieties. I'm having that one. If you're growing nice big squash plants, this is a sweet dumpling. I've just got it in a double tire. It's got it all to itself, and it is going berserk. You can see that's one plant, and I've tried to only leave just 2 runners on there. It's, you know, it's pushing for the net. Every time I come here, it's made about 1.5 foot of growth. So we've got lots of little fruits on there. No big ones yet, but we do have a big one hanging off, and I will show you in a second. But just quickly, kale crazy. Here are the kalettes. Just turn around again to show you. They are up to my top of my waist, basically under my chest. So nice big kale forming here once we cut some of the raspberries down after we finished. But they've been super tall this year, and I don't know if that's the added compost or the time of year I planted them, or what, but I have quite a few really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These ones are arguably a little bit close together, but at the time of planting, of course, it looked like I had 2 feet between them. And yeah, so hopefully we'll have, which the little kalettes are delicious. I didn't even plant any sprouts this year because I love these. I'm realising that this video is turning into like a 30-minute video, so apologies for that. If you actually get halfway through, I'll be impressed, because I know when I see 30 minutes, I don't always have time to go through my whole of the people I'm subscribed to, and it's very interesting just to catch up with everybody. But we'll just have a quick look round. This is plot 2. Which is doing really well. It's his first year of being planted up. I added all the compost over winter and just has it as no dig bed. So let's just have a look. Just have a quick walk through. Now, as you can see, I advise you never ever plant horseradish in your bed, because it was here already. It came up through. I haven't been on top of it now, because every time I try and dig it and pull it, I've pulled up my potatoes, and these 3 here are looking really poor. So I need to dig this whole thing out and just try and get rid of that horseradish. But the other row of potatoes doing okay. These were no dig, and there's a few rogue fennel that just came up, but I've been leaving those for the insects, and I might take some seeds off of there. Once the potatoes are out, we've got some carrots, and I need to thin those out, but can't get in there at the moment. They're covered over, and they are pushing up. As you can see, they're just pushing up through the So it's just gone a bit crazy. Now standing back, sweet corn is looking good though. Sweet corn's got to be 5 foot tall, and I'm just seeing one little, well look, I mean that's a tassel flower, isn't it? So the fruit's coming on there, and there's another one there as well. So this was just a standard Frenchy seeds variety. I mean look, it looks like a mangrove down there. I'm not even sure what that's, them holding on, which is great, isn't it, so that they don't blow over in the wind. And as I said on my last video, I wasn't even sure whether I was meant to remove these and just leave one stem. I guess that's the best thing to do, so that all the energy can go into one fruit. Seem to have some kind of casualty over here, which looks like a bit of blight or something, but I don't know. I need to get in and investigate. This has happened over the last 2 days, so whether or not one branch has just been bashed by the wind and is dying off, I'm not sure, but the rest looks quite healthy. In here we've got some the tromboncinos coming, so they're nice little fruits. There's quite a few of those underneath there I need to thin out. In the beginning I was on top of this, I left two, I just kept thinning out, left two runners to come through, but they seem to have just gone a bit wild now. We have got some leeks around here, around the front, mixed in with the bindweed and the French beans. These are purple dwarf French beans. The first time I've grown those. They're looking okay. I think they're looking okay. It needs a bit of a weed out and probably a feed. Somebody's been here and left the courgettes to just get huge, so I'm going to have to do some picking as well. These are the parsnips, and so we've got two. These ones got dug up by the birds or the badger, we weren't sure, and I had to replant those, so they're a bit slow, but that's okay because this is the other row and these are really tall. Some more beetroot, and these are my celeriac, which are doing really well. And I saw somebody say you have to take all the bottom leaves off, so I probably will do that. Interplanted with when they were pulled out and some of them died, I just interplanted with a couple of leeks because I had lots of spare leeks. This is the new frame that we built, and there we can see that we have got the climbing yellow beans. These are the gourmet yellow French beans, and I can't remember the name of the variety, and I've given the rest to my daughter, so I didn't even write it down. I mean, that is pretty poor, isn't it? But never mind, can't be great at everything, just trying to keep everything going. Oh, hello, cabbage white butterfly. Yes, fly away. We have got another courgette plant sort of in the middle here because we just set the frame up, and those ones are not growing as well as these ones, but I guess that's down to the sun or the soil. But they are reaching the top now, and that's just really good. I'm really happy about that. More calets underneath here, but we're not going to investigate. They look the same as the others. Multi-sown leeks, and this little bunch is celery. And the celery is doing really well. Again, I wasn't sure. Well, it looks a bit close together, but and it hasn't been. I mean, it's so super tasty, but it hasn't been great celery. Here's more calets. More crazy about calets, and yeah, they're reaching the top. There's only 2 in there. The rest were either broccoli, and we've still got a couple of these super cabbages left that I probably showed in the last little video that I did. But the longer you leave them in the ground, obviously the more they get eaten, especially after 2 real heavy downpours of rain, and the slug's been having a field day in there, so we need to pick those up. We've still got 3 on the other side which are just coming on, and 2 that are ready to go. So I made some sauerkraut this morning. Oh yeah, a little bunch of runner beans just there. And this is Dad's side. You can see his potatoes, well, I guess he will dig them when he's ready, and they've just kind of, you know, got that top sort of blight, but plenty of trench there, so I guess he's been keeping on top of it. And then he's got a different type there. I know some of them are pink fir. He likes to grow the pink fir all the time, and some earlies, or first earlies probably, the rest of them are. Alright, that's our lovely tour for today. Thanks for joining me, and sorry the video is a bit long. I'm not even going to make it into 2 videos. I'll just pop it out there, and I will be back probably in a couple of days I'll do a tour of the garden at home, which is looking fabulous with the jasmine, and my little greenhouse at home. I've got some seedlings to do as well, so I'll be back in a couple of days. Have a great week. See you soon.